The constant and ruthless attacks against Christians in Nigeria has left over 300 of these children at this Christian orphanage and school in the southwestern part of the country without one or both of their parents. Many of them have witnessed unspeakable horrors and bear emotional or physical scars. 14-year-old James and his 11-year-old brother Elisha were once part of a large family. Their parents and 5 brothers were among the approximately 500 killed when hundreds of militant Muslims attacked their village of Dogo Nahawa near the city of Jos in Plateau State in the middle of the night on March 7, 2010.
It was about 3 in the morning when we heard gunshots in our village. My parents and my brothers tried to escape by running, but we meet some of the rioters in the road, killing people, cutting people with cutlasses. I was cut with a cutlass and fainted and fell down like a dead man.
Because I was small, I didn't know what was happening. When I heard the gunshots and saw the burning houses, I saw fire all around. I started to run. They saw me running and hit me with a cutlass on my back.
Elisha, who was 9 at the time, laid on the ground for about 3 hours.
The rioters left me there and went away. They thought I was dead. In the morning, I managed to move myself to a room in a house that wasn't burned. There, some people saw me and took me down to the hospital.
It was at the hospital that Elisha learned that his parents and 5 of his brothers were dead. One older sister also survived and currently lives in another part of the country.
When I heard my family members were killed, I was angry.
Elisha's only surviving brother, James, was in serious condition after being hit with a machete in the face, back of his head, and his back. James also suffered burns to his left arm.
At the hospital, I was told my mother, my father, and my brothers had been killed. I felt sad, and I thought it would have been better if I had been killed and they were alive. When I was told they had been killed, I was burning inside, and I felt that I must get revenge. But I was told by people around me to cool down and just be patient, and leave them alone, and that God would revenge for me. So it came to my mind that those who killed my parents and brothers, that I should forgive them. I was told by my pastor, when someone hurts you, you have to forgive them, because God is the one who judges everyone accordingly.
So what was behind such a brutal and heartless attack on these children and their families?
When the Muslims were here in this village, we were living in peace, though the Muslims were trying to convert some to become Muslims. But they didn't want to. They wanted to maintain their Christian life and worship God, only God. When they had taken that step, one of the Muslim men told us they were going to mount an attack on the village.
Laurie and her brother Bulas survived a 2010 raid on their village of Miango near the city of Jos when militant Muslims attacked while Christians were sleeping.
The Muslims came to our village in the afternoon and hid behind the rocks, and people didn't know that they were there. Around midnight, they started fighting. They started killing our people. When we heard the gunshots, my mother told me and my brother and the rest of the family to run away and escape.
While running with her grandmother, Laurie got separated from the rest of her family. While trying to escape, she was shot in the leg, but she was able to keep moving.
We ran into the toilet. I hid myself there. The people passed by, and after they went by, I saw our house and other houses being burned. When I saw the houses burning, I thought that this was maybe my last day on earth. I thought I was going to die. I was praying that God should forgive my sins. Many people were being killed.
After the mob left, Laurie and her grandmother, who had also been shot several times, came out looking for help.
When I managed to come out from the toilet, some of the villagers saw me. They asked what happened to me, and I told them. They saw the wound and bleeding from my leg, and they took me to the hospital where I was treated.
Larry's brother Bulas was shot in the foot during the attack and was also treated at the hospital. While no one in her family died that night, 6 people in the village were killed.
The Muslims said they would come back and kill more people. The Muslims said they were going to kill everyone in the village so they can take the village as their own.
Larry says the militant Muslims also forced some of the Christians to leave their faith.
Some people in our village were told to become Muslims and turn away from Jesus Christ and start worshiping their God. Some became Muslims, others refused and were killed.
I asked Larry if she would ever become a Muslim and leave Jesus. The answer was no. The Voice of the Christian Martyrs in Nigeria brought Larry and Bulas to the Stephen Center, an orphanage and Christian school they operate in Ogun State for Christians affected by persecution in the country. They also relocated the rest of the family to a different village and built them a house with help from Christians around the world, including Canada. The family hopes to be reunited in the future.
I thank those in Canada who are helping with my school fees, giving us food and clothes. I appreciate everything people are doing for us.
In 2009, Sarah James was just 5 years old when militant Muslims from the Boko Haram came to their village near the city of Maiduguri in Borno State in northeastern Nigeria.
In the night when we were sleeping, some people came and woke us up and told us to run away. When the burning of the churches and houses started, we ran to the pastor's house inside the church. We went to hide. The boys around there were being killed. I saw them killing people using cutlasses to make them bleed and destroying them.
The Boko Haram decided not to kill the girls, so Sarah's life was spared.
My body was shaking.
Sarah's father was killed, and her brother was also shot and injured in the attack.
I miss my daddy. I miss my daddy.
Soon after the 2010 massacre in Dogo Nahawa, the village of Giel near Jos was ambushed. It's where then 11-year-old Aaron Pam and his family were sleeping when Fulani Muslims attacked.
The fighting started in our village in the night. They were shooting guns. My father woke us up and told us we had to run away and escape. When we were running, I was with my auntie. The Muslims were hiding in the trees. We didn't know they were there. They killed my auntie.
Aaron's father was shot on the road during the brutal nighttime attack.
When they take him to the hospital, then blood was coming down on his eyes. And I said, I want to eat food. Then I won't go. My mother go home. She went to cook food for him. When she come, my father already dead.
Aaron lost his father, an aunt, and an uncle that terrible night and was distraught and angry.
My mother came in and told us our father was dead. All of us were crying. I must get revenge because of what they did to my father.
But Aaron says his mother told him he must forgive those who did this and that God will judge those who killed his father and aunt and uncle. Aaron misses his father very much, who he says was a good provider for him and his family and made sure his children went to school. Fortunately, Aaron has been able to continue his education at the Stephen Center.
I like the Stephen Center because I came here and everything was free. My clothes, food, education. If I was at home, no one would pay my school fees because my father is no more. I really like this place.
The Stephen Center School for Children here in Abeokuta started in the year 2000 with 8 children who lost one or both parents due to the persecution by Muslims against Christians in Kaduna State. That number is now over 300 children of martyrs due to the ongoing violence committed against Christians, mostly in the northern part of the country.
And the more you continue to have this, kind of persecution. You have the widows who will be losing their husband. You have children who are losing their breadwinners. And the situation in the northern Nigeria is just such a pathetic one that sometimes you really don't even know where to start from. And you can't just imagine seeing children without school, hundreds of them are just living in abject poverty. Some, their parent has been killed, and children who are just living a hopeless life. These children need somebody to look after them. They need somebody who cares for them. Here in our country, the government does not care for children like this. There's nothing like a social security that we can claim to help such children.
Isaac and the children here are thankful for Christians in other parts of the world, including Canada, who are supporting the work of Stephen Center. But so much more needs to be done.
Stephen Center has been doing the little we can, taking some of these children out of the street and giving quality education.
James Sunday, like all these children, misses home, but is grateful for the education and a safe place to live and wants to study hard.
I want to become a doctor because they are the ones that are helping the sick ones.
And what do you want to do when you get older?
I want to be a pilot.
To find out more about how you can help educate, clothe, feed, and provide a place to live for these children at the Stephen Center, visit the Voice of the Martyrs Canada website at persecution.net or call our office at 905-670-9721.